Drake and Kendrick, you guys ought to be ashamed of yourself. This is ridiculous. You guys are two grown men going back and forth, and you have no idea what this is doing to the youth, young adults, people of your own color, your own creed, whatever it is. This is ridiculous. And I'm coming here to review this from a Christian perspective. I said, God, what should I do with what's happening right now in the world? And I prayed about it for like 3 days. I didn't think I was going to do this, but I got to step out on faith and courage to discuss this. So if you just subscribe to this channel, I believe you will be able to see the darkness in the world, be exposed to light, be exposed to God's love, God's patience, and find joy in life. Find happiness with where you are. Maybe it might be a bad season, but I wanted to be courageous and discuss this. So we're going to look at this from a Christian perspective. There's a lot of beef going on with Drake. This goes back, honestly, like 10 years. I did my research. And this is stemming from who thought they were the best, who was the big three, somebody wanting to distinguish themselves as number one. And, excuse my cat. And it just opened up a can of worms. So, again, like I said, I want to review this from a Christian perspective. So I want you to turn to Matthew 12, verse 34 through 37. Sorry about that. And we're going to look at some scripture that discusses what happens when you talk to people like this and how we're supposed to be based on what the Bible is saying. So 12, 34 through 37 says this: "You brood of snakes," this is Jesus talking, "how could evil men like you speak what is good and right? For whatever is in your heart determines what you say. A good person produces good things from the treasury of a good heart, and an evil person produces evil things from the treasury of an evil heart. And I tell you this, you must give an account on Judgment Day for every idle word you speak. The words you say will either acquit you or condemn you." So what does that mean? Let's break that down. So there's another verse in the Bible that talks about your treasure is where your heart is. So like if your treasure is like becoming absolutely rich, like your heart is going to be consumed with that. And this is plain text that literally what you're speaking is what you're feeling on your heart. And you can clearly see that Drake and Kendrick, two guys, I don't know what they signed up for, what they did. I don't really care. But what I care about is when they post a video and in less than an hour, 2 hours, 3 hours, there's millions of views that kids, young adults are seeing. And I can't speak for them, but I could imagine some of them are entertaining this and finding this fun, and they might even try it. And in Romans, literally in the first and second chapter, Paul talks about how wickedness and how it spreads. And the way it spreads is people flat out denying the existence of God. And God gives them plenty of proof through nature, his love, through his son, that he is real. And through life and just being able to breathe and all that stuff. He gives people plenty of proof that he's real, and people deny him. I can't confirm or deny that Drake and Kendrick Lamar are Christians or believers of God, but if they were, I don't think they would be doing this. I don't think they would be slandering each other on public, like really saying some really hurtful things to the public if they were a Christian. Like let's really talk about it. And the flow of people denying God is they flat out deny him. Then they start idling other things. And in the Bible, it talks about, people deny God and they idol things that God actually created. Like they'll idol a bird. God was the creator of the bird. So they start replacing God with multiple gods, things of the earth that God created, and they're finding their creator in that thing. And then they start doing wild stuff, wicked stuff, right? With other people, within their group that is idling this bird or this group of people or whatever it is. And then the last step is they go public and they start to get other people to do the same thing, believe the same thing. So it's ridiculous that they post this and millions of people are seeing it and they don't know, like, why have you not thought about the kind of influence you have? Is your image really that important to you that you have to publicly go back and forth with another man? Are you really that upset? Like, what do you gain from this by going back and forth? This is going to last, however long it lasts. And as I listened to this stuff, it was really starting to get heated. I wouldn't be surprised if somebody tried to hurt somebody physically versus verbally. So the things that you're saying is what is actually on your heart. So these guys are literally not joking. They're literally not joking. And you can feel it. Like they start making accusations of Drake having a missing daughter. Drake starts making accusations about Kendrick Lamar beating his wife. And then in Meet the Grams, like Kendrick is like literally addressing things to his son Adonis. Like, what are you doing? Like, you are a grown man. Like, I don't know Kendrick, I don't know Drake, but what is so important to you? What do you have that makes you feel so highly amongst all things that you can literally come on social media, the public, and wish that this kid's son was dead, this kid's dad was dead? Like, what are you doing? Like, what does the world come to? This is ridiculous. And that's actually on his heart. Like, why are you posting this? And this isn't a joke. This is ridiculous. Like, Adonis, literally, and kids are God's greatest asset. And you're a grown man telling Adonis that you wish that his dad was dead. Who hurt you? I lost respect for Kendrick on this. He was one of my favorite artists, man. Like, favorite artists. I lost respect for him. And that's what's wrong with secular music, man, because they tailor to the wave. But artists don't realize how much this is impacting people that actually listen to them. And some people don't have the discernment to separate themselves from this kind of just wickedness. It's so sad. Like, what are y'all doing, man? And this ain't helping out the black community. Like, this isn't helping the young, aspiring young men and women that actually want to rap because that is their creative outlet. Like, what are y'all doing? But I digress. Let's go to the next scripture. We're going to go to James. And this was a doozy. Hold on, I gotta get to it. Oh, that's the last book. Here we go. We're in James 3, verse 6. It says, "And among all the parts of the body, the tongue is a flame of fire. It is a whole world of wickedness, corrupting your entire body. It can set your life on fire, for it is set on fire by hell itself." You know the saying, "Sticks and stones may break my bones, but words would never hurt me." Go find a family who, maybe lost a loved one to bullying, lost a loved one to hurtful words, somebody took their life due to verbal abuse. Like, words actually hurt. Words actually are doing something to people's mental health. And I'm going to make this statement, and it might be wild, but the devil knows exactly what to use. The enemy knows exactly what to use to penetrate the minds of people that he knows he can penetrate. And he's going to use something to accomplish that. He's going to use somebody that has power, influence, reach, to slither his evil all across the people that have adolescent spiritual minds, to plant that seed of wickedness into the minds of people that, like I said, are not spiritually mature yet. They have the opportunity to be, but maybe they didn't grow up in church. Maybe they don't know Jesus. Maybe they aren't surrounded by somebody that can expose them to him. And you've got Drake and Kendrick, two grown men, right, on social media, blasting each other, saying some very hurtful things, and getting away with it, but don't realize to see the repercussions of the young kids, the young adults that are actually really struggling out here with spiritual warfare, and they're out here blasting each other. Is that doing the world any good, Drake and Kendrick? No. Is your beef really that important for the entire world to hear and see? And did you think what this is going to do to the world? Y'all have got all the money in the world. What else do you need? Like, what else do you have to prove? Who are you to not take into account the people that look up to you as an artist because you have beef, because somebody wants to be bigger than the other person, because this person did this and this person did that? Are you really that selfish? Like, really? The words, they spread destruction, as you can see. Like, they really spread destruction, and you can't erase them once you say them. No matter how long you apologize, no matter what. I don't care if y'all make an album after this. Y'all probably will never do that. But I believe I believe the enemy uses words to divide us. And this is not combining or gathering people for good cause. It's not. This is opening up just everything. Every door that's not supposed to be open is being opened up because of this. And this might be very surface, or them doing this might be very surface level, but it's deeper than that. Like, I'm putting on my God goggles as soon as this came out. And I'm just like, what are y'all doing? Yeah, so it's sad. It's so sad. We're gonna jump over to Proverbs. Book of Wisdom. They might want to read this book. And if you haven't, Drake and Kendrick, you might want to read it because you've got something higher than you. And when you pass away, when your time comes, you can't take all this stuff that you're stacking up here on earth up into heaven with you. It doesn't go anywhere. You can't take it with you. You can't. And back to the Matthew 12, 34 through 37, where it says you have to speak to the words that you used while you were here on earth. Are your words helping people or are they hurting people? You might be hurting Drake. You might be hurting Kendrick one-on-one because this is where the beef is at. But you got to remember who else is what other 15,826,947 views on Family Matters. Who have you hurted or helped on that video? Who have you hurt? I can tell you not a single person, Drake. Not a single person, Kendrick. Not a single person. Let's move on to Proverbs. Proverbs 10:20, I'll read a few. It says, the words of the godly are like sterling silver. The heart of a fool is worthless. The words of the godly encourage many, but fools are destroyed by their lack of common sense. Doing wrong is fun for a fool, but living wisely brings pleasure to the sensible. The fears of the wicked will be fulfilled. The hope of the godly will be granted. When the storms of life come, the wicked are whirled away, but the godly have lasting foundation. That's one section. And then skipping over to Proverbs 10:30, the godly will never be disturbed, but the wicked will be removed from the land. The mouth of the godly person gives wise advice, but the tongue that deceives will be cut off. The lips of the godly speak helpful words, but the mouth of the wicked speaks perverse words. Y'all are grown men. 2 grown men. Y'all bleed blood just like everybody else. You ain't no different. You got to tie your tie. You got to tie your shoelaces. Drake might do bunny ears. Kendrick might do the loop-de-loop, just like a kid does. Why are your words not encouraging people with the amount of influence that you have? Why are your words not encouraging people? Why are they not? Like, why are you choosing to do this and infect millions of people because y'all want to go back and forth? It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. So the lips of the godly speak helpful words, but the mouth of the wicked speaks perverse words. Guys, here's some application before we wrap up. Realize that this experience with them going back and forth is an opportunity for you to change. Listen to these words and listen to how hurtful they are. Would they actually really say this to each other face to face? Maybe they would, maybe they wouldn't. Who knows? But they're cowardly sending these things back and forth intentionally. This is where their heart is at. This is how they actually feel. The enemy is using these hurtful words and anger and hate towards another brother of God, another child of God, that God created Drake and God created Kendrick, just as much as God created me and you watching this. Two children of God are battling each other and not getting the bigger picture. They're not getting the bigger picture. And that is infecting so many people. And the devil was very intentional with that. Very intentional with that. Very intentional. So I'm going to give you guys some application before we close out. We're going to go to Ephesians, if I can find it. I don't use the Bible app as often as I can because I want to be able to navigate through the Bible faster, so I don't use it. So bear with me while we get there. Ephesians, it's in the New Testament, 20:48. This is the application part for you guys that I have to arm you with. Ephesians 4:29. It says, "Don't use foul or abusive language. Let everything you say be good and helpful, so that your words will be an encouragement to those who hear them." It's that simple. It's hard, but it's that simple. Drake and Kendrick, I lost respect for you guys. I really did. Especially you, Kendrick. I mean, people, you don't know what people are going through. There is so much with mental health going on right now. There's so much with nasty words going on right now. You don't know what your words are going to do to somebody. Make sure your words are helpful. The lips of the godly, they speak helpful things. They speak helpful things. Helpful words. But the mouth of the wicked speaks perverse words. Be careful with what you say. Be careful with what you listen to. Because this, you shouldn't be listening to it. It's entertaining. It's getting the views. But this is infecting people. This is hurting people without people noticing. Young kids. Drake's son, Adonis, who didn't do anything. Now he's got to grow up and hear an album of his father being wished to death. It's ridiculous. Thanks for listening. Y'all have a good day. And be kind. Use your words wisely. Make sure what you say is helpful. Peace.
out.